So, I went watching a play. It has been so long since I've been to the theatre, and it has been even longer since I've been to watch a play. The last play that I watched was Warhorse in like 2013, and that was brilliant. But since then, I have almost exclusively been to the theatre to watch musicals and ballets. So I was a little bit nervous that I was going to be bored, that everyone wasn't bursting into song every 5 minutes, but I was hopeful. And the theatre was gorgeous, and it was this little kind of intimate venue, which I appreciate. I like it. I didn't technically go into this play blind. I think we've all seen the Daniel Radcliffe adaptation of the book that came out a few years ago, and of course, we love that. Iconic, his first role after Harry Potter. And then I also read the book a couple of years ago, and they have their differences. So I knew it was going to be interesting to see how the stage adaptation changed the story around to suit the medium. The play is actually quite meta. The setup is that Arthur Kipps, the main character, the woman in black, comes to this actor director type in order to get his story told. And as the play goes on a little bit, you realize that it is going to be just these two guys all the way through. It actually starts with the first guy on stage, and the other guy comes out of the audience directing him. Not only does this allow us to break away from the main plot at any point and kind of relieve from the tension that might have been built up in some of the scary parts, but it also grounds the play in real life and, adds that based on a true story element that makes horror so much more frightening. So that was fun. The woman in black did actually make a few appearances in the audience. Luckily, nowhere near me because I fully would have screamed. But that just added to the whole, mythical realness of the whole endeavour, which I thought was great. We love an interactive play. So it's just these two guys all the way through. The actor guy takes on the role of Arthur, and actual Arthur plays all the other big characters. It takes a lot of skill to keep people invested in a play that only has two people in it. So props to them for doing that. I also like how the character of Arthur Kipps was the whole joke that he was meant to be a shit actor, but he was the one who was doing all of the acting because the other guy was just playing one character the whole way through, and he was playing a whole range of other characters. The bits where we broke away to them were usually quite funny and quite humorous as well, which I enjoyed because humor is obviously the best way to break tension, and I appreciated that it wasn't all just high drama and then those two kind of discussing something in between. So before I went to watch this play, every time somebody asked me what I was doing and I told them I was going watching a play and I told them it was The Woman in Black, I would jokingly say, do you think there are going to be jump scares? Because I could not in my life imagine how a jump scare could be portrayed in a play necessarily. I know to a certain extent they can be replicated, but not in the same vein as in a film, no. But no, they did have jump scares, and they even had fake out jump scares. My personal favourite jump scare was when they were on the train on the way to Criffin Gifford. Arthur's quietly talking to a guy in his carriage, and then obviously another train goes past on the tracks and it's really sudden and really loud, and that was the one that made me jump the most. But it was also just a really cute little addition that didn't have to be there, and I don't know, it just made me really happy. It was like watching a little horror film. It was so cute. I've never seen a horror play before, so I don't know what is the standard here, but for me it just felt really, I just really loved it. As well as there being only two actors, they also used like a really minimal set. Like everything you saw on the stage at the beginning was pretty much everything that got used, apart from some background pieces that were behind a sheer curtain and didn't really get interacted with very much. They were just there to, create ambiance and such. The play really had to rely on lighting and sound, which, lucky because they're two of the most effective things in horror. Some examples of the lighting that they used that I thought were good was in the churchyard. They had the sun coming in through the stained glass windows. That was really nice, and it was really pretty as well, and it had like birds tweeting over the sound system. It was just like this really peaceful feel of being in a churchyard. It was really effective with so little. The use of the fog machine was fantastic. It was sudden, and it was directed inwards towards the stage, so that first Arthur was swallowed up, so that was you watching the story, but then it came outwards and you also got swallowed up in the fog, and so you became part of the story. It was pretty sick. There's also the motif of him trying to get into the nursery at the top of the stairs, and when he would do this, the light would shine onto the door, and even though this door was present and had acted as other doors, this spotlight immediately made you realize that this was the nursery door, and it also gave it just this dramatic tension that was insane because it was the only thing that was lit up on the stage, and you just felt sure that something was going to come out of it, but you didn't know what or when or why. It was so insane. The rocking chair sound for me was also really effective. I thought that was really good. There was a rocking chair set piece, but the sound of the rocking chair rocking was over the system, and they did actually manage to mask that quite well. There was also a point where all of the lights went out and there was just Arthur on stage with a torch, and he turned around with the torch and the woman in black was standing there and she screamed. It was fantastic. It was great. Having an actual character be in charge of the lighting source was just another way that they got the audience involved in the story and just made it this more immersive experience. The play obviously keeps the original ending from the book, and I'm gonna give you a hot take here and just say that I think the ending to the Daniel Radcliffe version is more effective. I can explain why, because the effects of what Arthur has done are more immediate. Like, his son comes to him in Criff and Gifford, and you realize that danger immediately, whereas in the other ones, a lot of time has passed. And it's a child that we have not come to know in any way or come to love, and that we have not felt any connection to from Arthur because the child didn't exist yet. And so I feel like that extra little bit of connection makes us feel the loss of this child even more. And Arthur dies also in the Woman in Black version. And I think the little happy ending twist that they give where they get to go and be with the mom was quite nice. It did add a Hollywood hopefulness to what was a pretty hopeless story. So maybe I'm a sap for thinking that and I'm not a real goth, but you know, shoot me. Just want to give a quick shout out to who I believe is Anthony Eden, who played, you know, the part of the actor in the version that I went to see. I thought he was brilliant. Like, at first I thought, oh my god, this guy's going to be so annoying. But then I was like, that's his character. So then I forgave him for it. And then I started to think that he really reminded me of Rick Mayall. And then I couldn't get it out of my head. And then it was just like watching Drop Dead Fred trying to be in The Woman in Black. But it wasn't off-putting. So clearly he did a good job. In fact, I think both of them did an incredibly good job. And it was a really good show. And I would recommend that you go and watch it. Perhaps not if you don't like plays, but if you do, then there's nothing wrong with this one. Honestly, I just wanted an excuse to put makeup on. No, I'm just kidding. I did want to talk about this because I was just excited that I had gotten to watch a play, and I haven't been to watch a play in so long. And it's The Woman in Black, and I've now watched The Woman in Black in all of its reiterations. I've seen the film and also the sequel, and I have watched the play and I've read the book. So, you know, I've completed the trilogy of The Woman in Black. So what now? What do I do now? This has been a quick and very questionable review, and this Woman in Black will see you next time.